We're moving back straight into our democracy couch session. And as I explained earlier, but for newcomers, these are sort of things we develop in the Alliance of Democracies Foundation together with partners, but together with the National Democratic Institute, together with the International Republican Institute, together with Bush Center, together with the European Endowment for Democracy. And each sort of couch session is the same. We have two of our great sort of civil society activists that come up and join the couch, and we have one of our representatives from the organization. So we have Jerzy Pomianowski that's going to join us, who is the executive director of the European Endowment for Democracy. Dalel Krichen from Tunisia, civil society activist. Gunawan, please join us here as well. Primasatya from Indonesia. And again, the setup is really to give your stories about why you fight for democracy and what you see as the biggest challenges, both in your own home country and what you see sort of globally. And you're in Jesse's capable hand here for the next 25 minutes, and I'm looking really much forward to it, and I expect everybody else as well. So it's all yours.
Thank you, Jonas. Please give us a sign when last 2 minutes left, because I'm difficult in time measuring. And this session will be a little bit less American, maybe more European, just because I am indeed running European Endowment for Democracy. That is an institution that supports activists in different parts of the world. Unfortunately, not yet globally. So we are not yet present in Indonesia, but we are present in Tunisia and in many other regions, Eastern European countries. We are present in, of course, Arab countries. We are present also in Western Balkans. So I would like to use this opportunity, being in past myself an activist in the 80s. I'm coming from Poland. I was a kind of grassroots level activist to support the big names that at that time were changing course of my country toward democracy. So in a sense, maybe I need coaching as well, because after 30 years of democracy, we are still looking for the better shape of democracy in my country. But I would like to rather share this experience with you and ask some of your ideas. Maybe I will start first because we have ladies throughout all this coaching process, and finally we have a good gender balance on this side. So men was not yet speaking in all this effort. So I will ask Gunawan first.
Yep.
If you can just tell me, of course you will tell me your story.
Yep.
Everyone has tell his story, that nothing wrong with that. But Sulawesi and the place where you do your work is far.
Yep.
How much time you need not to come to Europe, but just to come to Jakarta?
So
My question actually leads to how it is being a local activist. How you divide this between local action and Jakarta politics. How this affects, interacts with your choices, with your everyday work. But this distance is also good. Tell us, how far is from your place to Jakarta?
So I'm living in one of the biggest islands in Indonesia called Sulawesi, which is, if you take a flight, it's about 2.5 hours from Jakarta to...
By plane?
By plane. But my city is exactly in the heart of Sulawesi Islands. I'm living in Poso, in the middle of Sulawesi Islands, that province called Central Sulawesi Province. We are very far away from Jakarta, but what happened in Jakarta is really influenced us in my place, especially because the framing of the media, the political situation will give a big influence for us in Central Sulawesi Province.
And so where there is a presidential election.
Yes.
At last, there were two candidates. One, the former general, another one. Actually, both of them were saying that we will destroy those bloody Jakarta elites.
Yeah.
Was it true that both of them equally tried to pursue this type of narrative and message to the people that there is something wrong with Jakarta elites?
That's why in my presentation, I'm going to speak about how can we make the balancing of the democracy process, because sometimes is the awareness without power, it can be make our community level and in the grassroots level will be getting confused, and the social gap will become bigger, and the political identities will be coming up because those kind of issues. But if I didn't get the point, can you help me, Yanti?
Do you have a presentation?
Yes. Yeah, I
Wonderful.
have a presentation.
I didn't know actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it okay?
How long it is?
Not less than 10 minutes, I think.
Go ahead.
So, can I go? Yeah. Can I stand up?
Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you for having me in this very special occasion, especially for IRI, International Republican Institute, to make me to be here. And my name is Gunawan. I am from one of the big archipelagos country in the world, and one of the big democratic country in the world. We are consist of 1,000 islands. We have a big population of Muslims, but we are not Islamic State. I am living in Sulawesi. If you see the third islands, the third island is my homeland, and I'm working with Yanti for this session to help me to have a very good English, because my capability in English will be, yeah. And I will start my presentations with a bit explanation about our political timeline. And saya akan mulai dari tahun 1966 ketika masa Orde Baru dimulai, di mana presiden kedua kami, Presiden Soeharto, dikenal sebagai bapak pembangunan, tapi kemudian juga dikenal sebagai rezim yang paling otoriter, rezim yang paling korup di masanya.
Since the new order regime began in 1966, President Suharto's authoritarian regime was known as the most corrupted regime. Yeah.
Dan di tahun 98, reformasi dikenal, kemudian kekuatan masyarakat, people power menumbangkan rezim ini, di mana kemudian ini menjadi starting point proses demokrasi berjalan sesuai dengan fungsinya.
Then people power brought down the regime in the year of 1998, at which time it was accompanied by the situation where our nation experienced financial crisis. That year became a pivotal moment for our nation, which we know as the reform was a progress which makes our entire nation carries out its democracy functions.
Dan tahun 2004 kami melakukan pemilihan secara langsung. Kami memilih presiden ke-6 kami, Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono. Beliau mengalahkan presiden ke-5 kami, Ibu Megawati Soekarno Putri, sebagai salah satu presiden pertama perempuan di Indonesia yang dipilih legislatif pada waktu itu. Dan beliau merupakan presiden yang berlatar belakang militer dan memimpin selama 2 periode di pemerintahannya.
In 2014, it became the first direct election process with Indonesian directly elected President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono, and it defeated Megawati Soekarno Putri as the first female president ever elected by the parliament. Serving for 2 periods, SBY, which is abbreviation for the president, who has a military background, was replaced by the first president who began his political career as a major in one of the cities in Jawa, and he had a civil background.
Ya, dan sekarang kami berada di presiden kami adalah Presiden Joko Widodo yang barusan terpilih, dan beliau adalah salah satu presiden yang memiliki latar belakang sipil dan berangkat dari karir politik menjadi seorang wali kota di sebuah kota kecil di Pulau Jawa. Walaupun kemudian prinsipnya pemilu secara langsung adalah jujur dan adil, tapi kemudian praktik-praktik kolusi, korupsi, dan nepotisme masih terus kuat ada di situasi kami hari ini. Misalnya politik transaksi dan politik uang masih menjadi tantangan berdemokrasi di Indonesia.
Even though then the election process is directly principled, honestly and fairly, but then again, Indonesia is not yet completely free from the practices of corruption, collusion, and money politic nepotism, when people who have money and strength can buy small people voices.
Begitu juga dengan kebebasan media dalam mengelola informasi. Pasca reformasi, kekuatan media untuk mengelola informasi sangat baik dan kuat. Tapi kemudian kemampuan masyarakat untuk mengelola informasi masih menjadi tantangan berdemokrasi hari ini. Di mana kita dihadapkan situasi di mana politik kotor itu menggunakan ujaran kebencian dan hoaks untuk menyerang lawan politiknya.
Media freedom also grew well. After the Reformation, the media had the power and freedom to provide information, but then our inability to manage information made hoaxes and utterance of hatred become one of the political weapons. Indonesian history of tolerance has become a challenge today, both between different beliefs and between different internal understanding of Muslim political identity. Has become very strong, including ethnic and racial religions.
Ya, begitu juga dengan pengalaman Indonesia mengelola keberagaman. Ini masih menjadi tantangan. Kita adalah negara Muslim terbesar di dunia dengan banyak ragam identitas, tapi kemudian politik identitas masih menjadi salah satu tantangan sehingga konflik di masyarakat akar rumput masih sangat tinggi. Politik identitas selalu dibungkus dengan isu agama, suku, dan ras. Saya akan bicara pada teorinya. Kami percaya bahwa menjaga keseimbangan demokrasi menjadi sangat penting. Bagaimana power dan awareness harus berbanding lurus sehingga proses demokrasi bisa menciptakan keadilan sosial.
That is why in theory it is important to maintain the balance of democracy between power and awareness. The democratic process is expected to be able to provide social justice. Power can be about resources, hold, or access that is owned by the nation or individual citizens.
Ya, power bisa berarti sumber daya, akses, angka yang dimiliki oleh bangsa dan juga individu warga negara untuk mengelola proses demokrasi. Sementara awareness adalah kemampuan, visi, ideologi satu bangsa atau kemudian warga individu masyarakatnya mengelola atau berkontribusi dalam proses demokrasi. Karena power tanpa awareness akan menciptakan keadilan-keadilan yang tidak, kebijakan-kebijakan yang tidak berkeadilan dan sangat rentan digunakan untuk melaksanakan power abuse atau penyalahgunaan kekuatan.
Awareness is about the ability, vision, understanding of the nation of every individual citizen in participating in managing democracy, because power without awareness will give birth to unfair policies, while awareness without power will give the birth of social inequality and despair, so that the conflict threat at the lower level will be higher.
Sementara awareness tanpa power akan melahirkan social gap dan keputusasaan sehingga konflik di masyarakat akar rumput akan semakin tinggi. Saya akan bicara lebih spesifik. I'm going to be more specific on my issues in Central Sulawesi Province. We are facing on these issues. First is about human quality problems regarding to the poverty and educational problems. We are a province who has 6 numbers in the joined to the ASEAN country who has high rate of maternal mortality and high rate of violence against women. Comparing with men, the low enrollment of women is still low, and also participation in women politics, even in the very low levels, in the village is very low. So from this fact, we do agree that the big problem is women are extremely marginalized in many ways.
Gunawan, if you can come back to us, we will continue this. It's very important.
Yeah.
We need to bring in Dalel as well into the debate. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Just come back to us,
Okay.
and we will find opportunity to come back to some of your slides, because I'm pretty sure they do summarize a lot of your activities. But we started with this short question. If you can try just address how much the politics in Jakarta influences your specific decision and your specific action.
Yeah.
Or opposite, how much you feel free from it because there is such an important part of the work, regardless who is in Jakarta, whether there is dictator or democratically elected president or this or that person specifically. Is this any connection with your everyday action?
Yeah.
How you would call it?
Apakah
Ya, jadi sebenarnya kan pasca reformasi kemudian desentralisasi menjadi salah satu sistem pemerintahan di Indonesia. Hak otonomi daerah itu menjadi sangat penting gitu.
This is indirectly, there's a connection, of course, but his project or the project in Sulawesi are not very dependent on the government staying or sitting in Jakarta.
Tapi dalam konteks memframing kesadaran masyarakat, raising awareness of public, it depends on what is the political situation in Jakarta as the capital city.
Okay, do you want me to say that?
Yeah. Thank you. I will now turn to Dalel because here I see a very interesting potential connection. Tunisia went through revolution process in 2011. You had a chance to be a member of the parliament under Ben Ali. So you do have an experience or trying to do something even when there was no democracy. Or some people who believes only in post-revolution time may deny people like you of joining politics today. There is element of transitional justice that is a huge part of the agenda. Actually, in my country, 30 years after the change for democracy, still transformational justice, transitional justice is political fuel. So it may stay long. But from your perspective, from your activities, if you can give us this perspective, doing something still under the repressive regime, but still being a part of a system, and then moving to post-revolutionary action.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say that I'm honored to be with you, all of you today, and I would like to extend my thanks to everyone who made that possible. Yes, it's a good question. When I was a kid, I had a big dream. I wanted to become a civil engineer. So I profited from free school, because in Tunisia, education is free. And I was granted a scholarship to go to the States and to study and to fulfill my dream and to become a civil engineer. So when I come back to Tunisia, I wanted to give back to the community. And at the time, there was no other place where I could act other than with the regime, because the opposition was very, very, they couldn't do anything. So I strongly believed that we should not leave the space for them. I wanted to act and to be a change maker, even though I didn't have a big march. So I joined the party, and I was in the parliament, and I tried to change. That wasn't easy all the time. I had many classes, and but the most important thing is that I had connection with the civil society, and they knew that I was really trying to do things. I strongly believed that if I would say no and I wouldn't be with them, then another corrupted person will take the place, and it's better for us to be there and to try to limit what we could limit. So that experience was very interesting, because even though there wasn't freedom of expression, but there was a march where we could act, and I learned a lot. I would say I learned a lot, because I learned to compromise. I learned to make things better in a limit. And that was, I think, a good experience for me. I wasn't reconducted for another mandate. You can understand why. But I think that I didn't have many problems after the revolution, because I was known that I wasn't really engaged with what's happening. As a matter of fact, it was there are a lot of people that put everyone in the same spot. So there was certain difficulties, but just right after that, I was able to reintegrate and to work, because I've been working with women and for women and with youth since I was 25. So I did 3 mandates in the municipality. I was a deputy mayor. I was in touch with people in the route. So I was trying to help to improve the condition. And I think that in Tunisia, and in fact where I live, everybody knows everybody, and they know the value of each person.
the party that you were supporting after the revolution, Nida Tunis, I know that you were manager of the campaign in Sfax, and also you were very supportive, brings this legacy of being part of the system previously, but at the same time doing nothing wrong. So in a sense, trying to still help people and then moving to the new situation. And we all know that after every revolution, we have to reintegrate politically. We have to find a common language. We have to set up new standards. You said you personally had no any problems, but how did you see this as a general issue? Was it managed politically well after the transition in 2011, or was it an artificial divide that was creating more problems and more instabilities than it was necessary for the sake of transitional justice?
Yeah. For me, I really believed in Jerzy Pomianowski. It was my conviction. I was like, because I worked a lot with women, and it was very important for me to give them a voice and to help them. And I think that we have a big potential with Tunisian women because they are very competitive. You know that the situation of Tunisian women is very. They have a high status and they have a lot of potential. So I was afraid that maybe after the revolution we will go on the rights of women. So I wanted to still be engaged and to do my best to help. It wasn't easy and it was important for me that they wouldn't say that everyone that was before in the regime was corrupted. So I wanted to be the manager of the campaign of Jerzy Pomianowski's facts, even though at the time that was very courageous, because being from the ancient regime and taking a first responsibility was not, very easy. But I did it because I was convinced that I didn't do anything wrong, that I tried to help whatever I could, and that what I did was for the country. I would like to say that in the transition, in the democratic transition, they say that only 30% succeed in the democratic transition. I would like to say that we Tunisians are determined to be among them. It's very important for us. Democracy for us is a question of life or death.
Dalel, if you would point two small, big, but short things, what makes Tunisia different from Libya or Egypt that you so far succeeded? And Libya is facing enormous difficulties. Egypt also is far from going toward democracy. Just opposite, it's getting worse and worse.
So I think that for Libya, Yemen, and Syria, they went into civil wars, and for Egypt, it was undertaken by militaries. Situation in Tunisia is different because in Tunisia we have three important things. First of all, we are a homogeneous population. Second, we have a very strong civil society and we have a weak military. And in this respect, I would like to pay tribute to media and the civil society in Tunisia, which I'm part of, because I've been working with civil society, as I told you, for 30 years. I was very present. So I think that this civil society is defender of democracy. And the civil society was always there when they sensed that liberties were in danger. And they were present in all the milestones that Tunisia had, because we have milestones. And so for the new constitution, for example, we have a very progressive new constitution right now, and the civil society, they were outside in the streets. Every time they sensed that something is going to pass on the constitution that is not would be dangerous for civil liberties. They were also on streets when the rights of women, the long championed rights of women, were questioned. And I think that today in Tunisia we have 14,000 NGOs that were created right after the revolution. They work on everything. They were on accountability, on economics, on social, on rights of minorities, on corruption, and they are helping democratization the country. So really, the civil society is what made
The biggest
the difference.
strength in democracy. Last question to Gunawan.
Yeah.
What would be, if you can make a very short answer, what would be for you a guarantee that Indonesia will never go back to the Suharto type of system?
Ya, demokrasi proses di Indonesia berubah time by time pasca reformasi 98 dan desentralisasi memperkuat sebenarnya tiap daerah untuk bisa menguatkan civil society-nya atau masyarakatnya. Nah, ini menjadi peluang sebenarnya yang kami lihat di Sulawesi Tengah khususnya di Poso, bagaimana kemudian memperkuat masyarakat akar rumput dan memperkuat masyarakat kelas bawah itu adalah proses terbaik untuk memperkuat proses demokrasi di negara kami.
The democracy will continue as when it started with reforms after Suharto time, and the decentralization from the government will also help the local, especially in where Gunawan has come from, and they will be working much better towards the freedom and democracy.
Tapi kemudian kita juga harus sensitif melihat ancaman-ancaman yang terjadi seperti kasus di kami Poso itu adalah wilayah yang punya pengalaman konflik lebih dari 10 tahun. Kita juga punya pengalaman dengan ancaman bencana alam yang 9 bulan lalu kami dilanda gempa 9,4 skala Richter dan juga tsunami.
In Palu, where Gunawan is from, they have conflict the last 10 years between the two regions, and not to mention the big and disastrous tsunami that happened for 9 months ago.
Dan kami percaya dengan memperkuat perempuan akar rumput adalah salah satu solusi karena kami sudah melihat secara langsung bagaimana perempuan di kelas bawah, perempuan di arus bawah itu menjadi poin penting, memiliki peran di garda terdepan untuk memperkuat proses demokrasi mulai dari level desa.
That's why they believe that by having Sikola Mombine, that the women are being schooled and upgraded to their knowledge and generally, so they also can help the making of the democracy in that very area.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.